So the first of my three main takeaways from this month is that politics is a big soap opera. Not exclusively, but largely. And let me explain. So, I enjoy kind of staying in the loop on things. I enjoy political commentary. But this month, because I've been focused on this challenge, I haven't spent as much time. And then in the past week, I've just sort of doing a little bit of a break from that as well in my life for some other reasons. And what I realized looking at it the other day is just, you see the headlines, they pop up in the YouTube feed, some of the shows that I have watched. And it's like the stuff that they're talking about is just all drama and no real substance. And I remember, I didn't watch soap operas, but I was interested to learn that the reason that they're called soap operas is for the purpose of selling soap. So they were trying to create a show that would appeal to people who is wants to watch or sell soap. And now what's happening, it's not new, but it's just happening in a different way as the media landscape has changed and all of these institutions have kind of rightly lost trust. People don't trust them. There's a lot of soap selling going on. There's a lot of shows of people who they're talking about politics, but they're doing it because they're trying to sell you something, and often it's your attention. And the bottom line is probably a lot of it you don't do anything related to. You can get worked up about stuff, you can get concerned, and there's a point of knowing, and then, boy, that thing is funky on this one. There's no value. So that is my first observation for you, is that a lot of that stuff is really just an effort by people to package stuff in a way to sell something. Second thing I've learned, over the course of this month, not hugely different than the first thing, is thinking about the relationship between consumption, production, and rest. And let me explain that in a little more detail. This is where I really miss the mall. This is a Fiskars X27. It's a nice axe, but it doesn't have the weight of a maul that can really drive through these knotty pieces. So you really gotta, when you get into these knots, especially with this wet wood, you really gotta do the work. Okay, so back to this idea about consumption and production. When I began this, I realized that there was a certain amount of time in my day, and oftentimes that time was being used for consuming things. I like podcasts a lot, so it would be that type of thing. And the reflection that I've had, and part of what I was trying to shift a little bit in my life, was a greater utilization of my time towards the purpose of production, and specifically utilizing that time in a way that would not only be producing things in like the exact moment, meaning I'm splitting wood, so I'm producing firewood. Oh, that was hard. But also production of, in this instance, the YouTube channel. And, it's an avenue that has an opportunity to continue to produce. You may be watching this video tomorrow when I'm going to upload it, but you also might be watching this 2 years from now. And so I've been really working in my life to kind of give more consideration and more perspective towards that idea of producing things that continue to produce, investing in those areas. And knowledge can be like that. If you invest in knowledge, it can produce, but sometimes our consumption isn't actually fueling our production. It's just fueling more consumption. So that's the key point is, are the things that I'm consuming just making me want to consume more? Or are the things that I'm consuming fueling me to produce things in another area that bring value and pleasure and joy into other people's lives? So that's what I've kind of learned in this time. Now, for me, continuing the pace of this that I've been doing over the last 30 days, I don't think is the right move for me, in part because it's not so much the work aspect of it and the, like what I'm doing on the property that's the issue, is more of the editing time that you have to put into it. So oftentimes, to make one of these, there's an hour or so of filming. Sometimes the project is longer than that. And then there might be 2 hours of editing work. And it's been meaningful to do it at that pace here in the month of April, but it's also been pretty demanding. And I have some other areas of my life that require more of my energy and focus. And so I have to make sure that I prioritize those things and be able to have the measure of rest worked into it. And so that's the third piece of it, is consumption, production, but also recognizing the need for rest. And hey, Daniel.
Do you have a job for Nolan?
Do I have a job for him?
We're gonna jump on the trampoline.
That's fine.
Because Nolan said he was bored, and then Mom said, you could ask Woodley.
He could carry some wood over if he wants to. All right. So, rest. So you need the rest. And getting that kind of balance right is really important. For me in this project, there was, a rest day physically that I would take once a week. One time I was sick and I, took that day off in the challenge. Thankfully, it was only one day. So you need that for your body, for your spirit, for your soul. If you're always having to produce, and I think that is coming from an unhealthy place. So keeping in mind, what I would say is that relationship of consumption, production, and rest. The third thing that I've learned is you can have a lot of transformation happen in your life in 30 days. And if you'll commit to something, then it's amazing how much more energized you can feel in a really short period of time, and how much momentum you can generate in your life towards much more positive outcomes. I was not expecting to lose over 16 pounds, but I did. I was not expecting to almost triple the number of pull-ups that I could do, but I did. And so that is just worth noting. Like, the change is not as far away as we think it is sometimes. So those have been my 3 big takeaways from this month. And I'm going to keep splitting some. I'm going to put this on a time lapse here, and then we'll come back and wrap up with our final numbers and our final thoughts. So this has been a beautiful evening splitting wood. So interesting. Yesterday it was 85. Tonight we have a frost advisory. So the weather's always changing around here. But let's go through the numbers one final time. My weight this morning was 219.4. Started this out at 235.8. My resting heart rate this morning was 60. Started somewhere in the 70s. Didn't have a great measurement on that, but dropped, I'm saying, about 10 points over the course of this month. From my pull-ups, I started the pull-ups. I was able to do 3. Our highest to date is 8. We're going to finish this video out with another set of pull-ups. YouTube subscribers, we started at 907. As of today, we're up to 937, and I'm sure that will continue to grow in the days and weeks to come. And the work that we got done today, we got this wood split up from this tree that has come down. So we're making progress on that. But day 30 is done. The outdoor challenge is done. The YouTube channel's not done. But I want to say God bless you. I hope to see you on the next one. Let's go do those pull-ups. All right, started this with 3. Probably should have done these before I split wood, but I did not. So here we go. So close. Have a great one.